Hello. Hi, everyone. It says the tool tells me you're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you. Um, Toga, are you also around? Or am I here by myself?
I'm behind the scenes, but I'm here. I have to
Awesome.
add myself to the scene to uh, be vocal.
Ah, okay, okay. Got it. So yeah, let's give everyone a minute to join. Today we are not just by ourselves, not just Toga and me, but we've also got our partner, Cosmic Factions. The CEO Vladan is with us today as well. Hey
Hey
Vladan,
everyone,
good afternoon.
good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
How's it going at Cosmic?
It's great. I mean, busy days, really busy. We had a lot of great things happening and some exclusive announcements that we'll announce now in this, basically this AMA. So yeah,
Awesome. Really, really excited. For those of you who's been following Mogaland as well as Cosmic Factions, you know that we've been actually taking our collaboration step by step forward, starting with the Community Clash 2.0 that took place recently, where we created different challenges and education for our participants. And Cosmic Faction Action was one of the projects that donated really amazing prizes for our winners. So, for all of you who took part in that, really happy to see you back here as well. And we're not just doing like a, let's say, engagement, social media only collaboration. We're really taking the, let's say, our products forward as well, hand in hand. There's many, many cool stuff we have been discussing in the background, and we thought, hey, it's time to share with our community. So hope you're all excited about that too. Um, the market has been a little bit depressing, I think, for supporters of the space. How do you feel about that, Vladan?
well, to be honest, I mean, I'm already around a couple of years. I think this is my third cycle already, something like that. So if we're honest, it's going perfectly fine. I mean, we had kind of, I don't even know how to call it with ATF, obviously, that was maybe a exception where everyone, was excited that it might kick off. But it seems like the market just, went back to his usual things, which means that despite the situation right now, and everything goes as before, we should really soon have a really exciting market. And I think everyone is waiting for that, us as well.
Yeah, I
So,
love that you say that you've been in the space for some years. And I think that's what people always forget, right? Because I think on the day-to-day basis, if you see, how the performance are in the 24 hours or in the last 3 days, last week, um, it's a deception actually, right? Because as we know, crypto space is extremely volatile. There are new things happening all the time. There's new players coming in and out of the space, and it's always creating some kind of impact to the market. And I was just talking actually in a different session the other day that if you zoom out to 6 months or to 1 year, you would just see the tremendous growth, right, in the entire space when it comes to the quality of the project, when it comes to prices of the cryptocurrencies, the tokens, as well as like the amount of growth that products are delivering, communities are delivering. So yeah, I'm really glad that we continue to actually make progress despite the maybe current slightly bearish sentiment, which I believe if you zoom out and look at the big picture, you will see that there's nothing to be upset about at all, right? It's just the normal ups and downs of life.
yeah,
Um, yeah.
I mean,
So without
I
go
would
for
just
it,
say
go
it's a
for it.
small teddy bear. It's not even a bear now. It's the last
Yeah,
stage. And
small teddy bear. I love that.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a teddy bear market, everyone. Actually, it's a positive thing, right? It's a great time to get in because it's the teddy bear market.
absolutely. And maybe it's the last one before the real bull market starts. So who knows?
I know, and that's what. That's what's always happening, right? Like during the dip, everyone's freaking out and, having doubts. And then all of a sudden, the market takes off again and everyone's upset that they missed the opportunity, that they didn't stick to their strategies, which, is like easier said than done, of course. Buy now, buy low, sell high. But that is how people do it, right? That's how people take advantage of the opportunities and the volatility of the market.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely agree.
yeah, so actually today, I'm just checking to see, just trying to, chit chat a bit, create a bit of time for our audience to tune in. But today it's featuring Cosmic Factions as well as the collaboration that we will have jointly. And just checking, okay, we've got quite an active audience now. So just before we go further, please do not forget to support us to get more views and more people into the space by going to the Twitter location or X location of the space. Like it, share it, bookmark it, tag your friends, make some comments, make some noise. This is how we, work the whatchamacallit, work the algorithms. We gotta work the algorithms, right,
Yeah, or as we call it
of
internally,
Twitter.
just make party.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let us. Yeah, please make sure to let everyone know you're here, to let everyone know that something really exciting is about to happen, and we will get started. So, drum rolls. Maybe play some drum rolls for yourself mentally. First of all, I this is what's going to happen today. So I'm going to start a little bit with a recap because recently we shared some major project updates with our community, and this actually revealed the beta concept that we've been working on. So we've got a additional narrative for our game. We have a huge change when it comes to the visual and environment engagement that we will bring to our community. We are introducing new characters, new features. So all very exciting. So I'll do a quick recap of that because that actually ties in perfectly with why we also believe a collaboration with Cosmic will make a lot of sense, especially as Mogaland evolve towards its beta version. So let me start there. And after I do a little bit of recap, I'm going to pass it, Vladan, to you because you guys did a lot of new stuff. Recently, you released I believe, some new versions of your
Yes.
platform that our community hasn't seen. So we would love to get a demo of that. And then we'll come back to give everyone the first sneak peek of the collaboration. And that will be a little bit toward the end. So make sure you stick around, make sure you learn all about what's going on between both of the projects because there is a lot of opportunities that we're going to be creating for all of you. So I'm just going to jump into recap. I will need to share screen, I believe. So Toga, let me see. Da-da. So give me a second. Present, share screen, window, back to my PowerPoint. Every time I share screen with Microsoft Office tools now, I feel very self-conscious because I was told the other day only boomers are still using Microsoft. I hope
I
that's
told you this.
changing now.
I
Yeah,
told you need to switch to Google.
yeah, I know. But hey, come on, they have all the AI integration. They have Copilot coming, so I think that's changing now.
That's true.
So
I mean, just a confession. We also use both Microsoft and Google. So dev team is using Microsoft definitely as well. So yeah, we're also guilty of that.
yeah, no, I mean it's just so hard to switch, right? And actually, there are really good tools. And actually, I'm personally very excited about seeing the results of Copilot. I know a few teams have started testing that within the organization. And yeah, it adds a lot of efficiencies, right, to how to organize your information and even preparing amazing presentations for your stakeholders. So I'm excited about that. Right. So a bit of recap on major project update. First and foremost, we would just like to thank our community again. Since we launched the alpha season, actually, which was at the end of last year, so Q4 last year, we've done a lot of engagement activities. And thanks to everybody joining us, playing, inviting others, spreading the word, being very active, giving us feedback, loving what we do, we steadily grow the number of Mogalanders, which we're extremely proud of. And recently we did a count across the board. We have just over 168,000 Mogalanders across all our channels. There are some of you playing the game. There are some of you engaging us in all kinds of social media channel, participating in the different tournaments and social campaigns that we've been launching. And actually, for those of you who are here, we've just recently um, launched a new tournament and social campaign on Galaxy. And this is actually based on the demand from the community. Everyone told us they love that platform. It's an amazing place. They're growing their engagement and climbing the leaderboard Galaxy, and they want to see Mogaland in there as well. So that's what we've done in response to the demand of our community. So go check out our space in Galaxy as well. Um, so thanks again for all of you. This is always so you guys are really like our fuel, right? It's having you, having your engagement, having your impact is actually keeping us going. We would love to see more and more of you. As we shared in the last live stream, if you weren't around, so a new era is going to begin in Mogaland. We are expanding. The entire environment. So for those of you who have checked out Mogaland Alpha version that is currently live in Apple and Google App Stores, you are going to notice the huge change that we've been secretly working on in the background. So as all of you are playing in tournaments and climbing the leaderboard, our team has been busy creating a new environment with new game stories, narratives. You see some of the companions that will then get introduced in the beta version to become guardians of the tree of wisdom that you see on the top of the island. So all this is going to become the new Mogaland experience. Let me just move forward if I can manage. There you go. So, Rise of the Guardians. So, for those of you who has been participating in our activities, some of you have already won some of our Generation Alpha NFTs. Those there's a lot of big plans that's gonna come for these NFTs. There's going to be seasons where every season you're going to actually get the base of a animal companion that you would then have to train and scale up so that they can become guardians and you will unlock mint ability. These guardians will be the first line of defense for Mogaland to defend the Tree of Wisdom, where you would have these rare fruits of wisdom that the enemy pirates are extremely interested of. Right, so there will be a lot of new gameplay around the new narrative coming as well. And just moving on, yeah, as I mentioned, so this is the Tree of Wisdom that the Mogalanders will aim to defend. And then you can imagine, right? Actually, now with the mini games, you're playing and learning. You'll be collecting gears as well as knowledge and powers to skill up your guardians to defend the Tree of Wisdom. We also talked about the fact that there is going to be mentoring and training peer-to-peer relationships between the players, so between their guardians. So we would be actually introducing a new journey for the users called Mentor to Earn, where if your guardian has really high level of specific powers, you can offer your guardians to mentor others. And if someone would sign up to your guardian as their mentor, you would be earning Moga token from offering that. So all these are the new opportunities coming for our users. We also talked about the fact that we're expanding Mogaland, so you can see already from some of the actually Unity screencasts that I made that the entire environment is expanding. Um, there's a lot of planned new features and new mini games that will get introduced step by step. A lot of them will even come beyond beta. So there's already a lot of thinking and plans on, how do we keep growing Mogaland, right? We're not going to just stop there. And some of these beyond and outposts are where we see opportunities of collaboration. Because why does the entire Mogaland has to only be on your mobile device, right? Actually, there's a lot of opportunities where we might want to expand and grow Mogaland even outside of your mobile device to offer you the ability to have more immersive or a different style of gaming experience in the future. And I'm going to pause there for a bit and let Vladan introduce what he and his team has been up to at Cosmic, because then I think you guys can see how we tied this very nicely back together for our collaboration. So I'm going to stop screen share, and Vladan, you can take over.
Yeah, Tracy, first of all, amazing stuff that's going on with Mogaland. I mean, I was already amazed when I saw the first time, the 3D world and everything. And yeah, Tracy, you just showed, let's call it a beta version that you're working on. Maybe we can show a small alpha version again tied to Mogaland. But since I didn't prepare a presentation, but I actually did promise to show some new things. So some things that we didn't announce to our community. I don't even think that they know that this was happening in the background. I will share my screen. Oh, there it is already. Thank you, Tolga. I was just trying to start it. So just to tell you what you're seeing right here. So right here, you are seeing the new UI, basically, let's call it like that, or new version of the Cosmic Engine. So what you saw before, it's basically the same thing. It just, we worked on the UI, we want to make it more scalable. All the old features are still in, with tied with a couple of new features, actually. This time, when you launch the game, you can see it's still kind of looking familiar like the previous one. We added hierarchies, so you can actually easily manage your assets, because in the old one, the assets were a bit different. One of the changes that probably developers among you will see is that the interface is now looking more familiar to the Unity interface, maybe Unreal interface. That was what we were aiming for, because as you know, the Cosmic Engine is a new game engine, so it's neither Unity nor Unreal. We are building it actually on top of the Godot engine, or basically the Godot engine was our base engine, since we have one of the co-founders from Godot as one of our advisors, and it helped a lot to speed up the process. But nonetheless, it's just that using the Godot, the open source version of Godot, it's still a completely standalone engine that was just basically used the base mechanics to speed up the development process. So this is why with the interface we thought, okay, let's make it as familiar as possible to everyone, so you can see if you already used an engine, you should be able to start straight away. So just show you a couple of things really quick, won't stay too long. As you know, the pixel blocks, which are our main, let's say, main point of the engine, because it's a no-code game engine, so it's meant for everyone to build games. I mean, it's easy to drag in assets and put assets and move them around. That's nothing new. The tricky part about game development is the coding. So as you know, we showed already a couple of pixel blocks before. Right now we have them a bit better organized. So what you're seeing right here is when you select an object, any object, everything that you see here in addition is basically a pixel block. What's new is that you can now combine your pixel blocks together, and basically you can have them communicate with each others. So maybe I'll just shortly show you one quick thing. Let me just find the terrain. This is modular terrain. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, just ignore those icons. We created around 27 pixel blocks so far because we're focusing on the base engine, then created the pixel blocks. We just didn't have time to add proper images to the pixel block. So this is why you always see the same, basically the same image of them.
Have
But
to use your imagination to
exactly.
see
So
the
imagine
real
this is
thing.
a terrain. But yeah, so in the hierarchy, obviously, you have a lot of functions where you can structure it. Basically, just make it, you can organize it properly, because when you make a game, it can get quickly messy. So it's important to have a good way to organize everything. So I will just rename it quickly. This will be the terrain. And this will be short. We'll jump actually to the main part that everyone is waiting. But just to give you, since I promised a sneak peek of the new one, it's the first time we're showing this live with Mogaland, and I'm really happy actually to be able to present it with you. So what we're doing right now is, there, I made a mistake. I'm used to the old one. So we selected an object, and right now what we'll do is we'll drop a pixel block on the object. This pixel block, basically, this was an empty object. The pixel block, what it did right now is it basically for us created that all terrain that I already showed you in the other version. You probably already saw it, the terrain, the infinite terrain. It's just that now you have it way better structured and way better organized. One difference right now is if I start the tester, oh, we have a cube, I forgot to delete it, but if I step down for the cube, my player is gone. There is no colliders at the moment. What we did actually, because we don't want to influence anyone is free to build the game that he wants. Basically, you'll be also able to add your colliders separately. So, and combine them in a way that maybe we didn't think of. So making it as open as possible. And for that, I will add to the player that already has a controller sheet. We also have pointing controllers and a couple of others, but we'll show that in the future. But right now, I'll drop a second pixel block to my player that already had one. And now we have a collider pixel block, but this collider pixel block doesn't really know what it's supposed to do. He knows, okay, I need to create kind of, a collider, which is basically let's call it invisible object for the player to step on so he doesn't fall through, but he doesn't know for what. So what we can do actually is we will go to our hierarchy from here. We go to the terrain, and we will select the specific fields that are interesting for us, so that we need for the collider from the hierarchy. And this way we have a pixel block on the terrain, we have a pixel block on the player, and we combine the two pixel blocks to tag together. Of course, you can do manual changes, you can combine other pixel blocks, but this is just an example how all the pixel blocks, basically the coding part, which is not coding, how they can also communicate with each other, how you can combine them on one object, how you can basically make them communicate with other ones. So there's no limits. You can really kind of create a game like you would with normal coding, but just ignore that coding part, if it makes sense. So let us now try again. Let me see if I did everything properly. And yeah, as you can see, we're moving. We're not falling through the ground anymore. So yeah, I mean, this is already old. You already saw this terrain and how it works. So I won't spend too much time on this. But let me then jump to our main part of the day, and which is
Before
like,
before we go there, Vladan, I would
mhm,
have actually just have a question because I am not a game dev, right? And one of the audience just said that, at last, like someone who doesn't know coding can even try game development. So how do you envision your community and ecosystem to be? Like, do you see that, for example, you're empowering all the passionate Web3 gamers to also become Web3 game developers? So what's the vision for this?
so let me then give you another presentation. Probably it's good. So let me just jump to the Cosmos store and just talk a bit about it. So what we're doing actually, first of all, it's a zero barrier entry. We don't want to put any barriers, any costs, whatever. So everyone who wants to build a game, you don't need anything. We'll even do it so you don't even need to do any base transactions until the point where you publish your game, because then you'll need to make one transaction, you need to mint your game NFT. By the way, you can trade games as well, so you don't have to publish your game. You can make it and sell it to someone who wants to publish it. Just a heads up. But basically, zero entry completely. So we won't. We really want for everyone, be it Web3 gamers, be it Web2 gamers, because this is why we're making it. Also trying to avoid all transactions until you can build a game and so on. No barriers for anyone. Of course, for the Web3 people, it's simple. You already know how it goes. You just pay a fee to mint something. And when I talk about fee, I'm not talking about a price or something like that. It's just the fee that you need on chain, obviously, to mint it. So, depending on the blockchain, it's a couple of cents. So we're empowering everyone. However, in order for this to really be proper gaming development engine, so an engine that can compete with Unity, with Unreal, which is our goal, but keep it no code, which is a challenge. uh, this is something that we probably won't be able to do alone, because there's so many gaming types, there's so many game mechanics that someone would want to implement in this game, and it's impossible for one team, doesn't matter how big it is, to really think about every single idea and possibility that's there. So this is why we have the Cosmos Store. At the moment, like I said, just ignore those are placeholders. You have here basically some assets. Those are asset packs that you can get and you can unpack them. I can actually show. Yeah, so basically you see here the assets. An asset pack is basically like a folder containing multiple assets. So it's almost the same thing. And those are the pixel blocks. The way it is, it's open to everyone. So this is why we're not focusing only on the players, on the non-developers that are building games, but also focusing on the developers. In this case, of course, they're free to build a game, but our main focus for them is that they work with us to expand the engine furthermore. And this is the Cosmos Store is basically like your common, let's call it like that. Although we're using NFTs, but you can compare it to the common Unity store, to the Unreal store, where you can create a pixel block. And this is the part that helps us expand the engine to really be comparable and no code. You as a developer, you go to the Cosmic Engine and you see, okay, there's a couple of features that usually people like to use, but they don't have those features. In that case, you as a developer, you can create the pixel block and you can offer it on the Cosmos Store. You can offer it for free if you want to. For example, we will offer our pixel blocks for free. At the moment, we only have 27. Obviously, that's growing, so we'll need to get to a higher number. But if you're someone, external developer that build a pixel block, you're absolutely free to ask for a price or offer it for free as well, because maybe someone just wants to improve it. Or if you're building your game, you can also create a pixel block for your game, obviously. You don't have to publish it on the Cosmos Store at all. Although we'll be thankful to everyone to publish their pixel blocks, because our library will increase. We'll obviously have rewards for everyone who has good pixel blocks contributions and so on. And also the games that we personally are building. Obviously, we're focusing first on the engine, but once we start building the games, we're building all the games, obviously, in the Cosmic Engine, and all the pixel blocks that we created for our games, we'll also publish them all on the Cosmos Store so people have access to them. And in addition to that, this is how creating a pixel block works. So I need to apologize. I'm not a developer, so I won't be able to code a pixel block right now. So I'm someone who's using the pixel blocks, the ready ones. But I can explain what's happening. So as I said, the underlying, basically, the base engine that we took as an example and built or modified it and built the Cosmic Engine on is the Godot engine. So this is why at this moment we have GD script support. This will change what we are doing right now, and this will be in the version 2, which will be already available to the public. We will have our own coding language implemented, which is an even simpler version of basically the GD script. So we want even the coding language to be familiar. So we'll keep it familiar looking to GD script, because there are obviously game developers that know GD script, but we'll simplify it even more. So even if you're not a game developer, but you want to try to code something, you can. We want to make it easy for you to learn it as well. One additional thing, and I didn't plan to announce this right now, but since I'm talking about this, why not? You all know the Dreamweaver AI. So you saw it, that's basically prompt to game and so on. There will be, let's call it a light version of the Dreamweaver AI. We didn't set on a name, so don't quote me like now, but let's call it CodeWaver AI. You will be able, actually, once we finish our custom coding language that you'll be using here, you will be able to use an AI to prompt it, and he will write the script for you.
Amazing.
So making it really no code as much as possible. And just one small explanation. So here on the left, you would write your code logic for the pixel block. Why do we have two consoles? Because usually you're coding in one, or I mean, you don't really need two consoles necessarily if you don't using for something. The second console here is for the UI, because every single pixel block that you build, the idea is that people, when they use it, they don't want code, they want an interface, basically with drag and drops, with clicks, with stuff like that to make all the settings. So on the right side, basically we have already the mechanics in. It will automatically create all the visual UI objects that you need, be it sliders, be it clickers, be it inputs, because as you can see, you can also combine pixel blocks. You can add, text to it for whatever reason. Here on the right side, it's structured like that. And this is, by the way, an example that makes helps you get started. You just need to make the connections. You say, okay, this function here needs a slider. You just connect it on one side on one side the function, on the other side the slider, and then it will automatically generate a pixel block for you. So the pixel blocks from before, maybe I can go back and show it to you. Where did I have some? Yeah. So it will basically create this for you. So you don't have to play around with UI elements to create them by your own. It's already automated for you. So you just need to go to combine them, and the code is basically automatically creating this interface for you, where someone like myself, who's not a game developer, can come and just drag around and basically create, basically adapt, the coding interface for no code to the object. We have a UI part, obviously. You can also build a custom UI because in your game, and I just have here a button, I don't know why. But yeah, you can build a custom UI, obviously, for your game, because a game, it's not only the 3D part. Even if it's a 3D game, it's neither UI, or here would be the part where we're also building 2D games. So there's also that possibility. At this point, we didn't add any pixel blocks for 2D games, so we're focusing first on the 3D part, but we'll start actually pretty soon on that. And Tracy, I don't know if I have time, since I already
We
showed
have,
everything.
yeah, we have time. So actually, yeah, so this I
Uh,
think you're going to show the really exciting part now. Before we go
I
there,
want,
because
yeah,
so some audience have questions. So I was
mhm,
wondering if we can address some of the questions because
of course.
um, Superman's Nightmare ask, how does Cosmic Factions generate money for the business?
Yeah, so after you launched your game, basically then that's the part when you start making money with your game, because you can monetize your game. So you'll be able to use basically your assets, create your in-game economy. You can launch your game then on the Cosmic Launcher, which is Portal called. That's the PC version. And once you start earning game with your game, that's the part where you also make. So we'll have basically revenue share with all the games launched. But this is also our policy. So we don't want to charge anyone for anything till the point where he finally also makes money. So this is why we say we want to make it free till the S part, but obviously at some point we also need to make money to maintain the company. So we'll only make money when the developer or non-developer, game builder, makes money. We didn't set on a set fee, but it will be pretty small. Obviously, we'll also aim to reduce it in the future more and more, because there's also more features. We don't charge, basically, if you're publishing something on the Cosmos Store, we'll have a really minimal fee. I think the standard fees are that the usual engines are charging. I think it's around 30%. We're thinking of about something like 5%, maybe even less. We'll see. So we want to make it as accessible as possible. And obviously, as we grow, we'll also be able to reduce those fees more and more. So the main idea is not to make too much money with it. The main idea is to have enough money, to have enough for the to structure the rewards, and to get development going. Of course, for the team something, but we don't want to take the approach of greediness like the majority of engines we see right now. We want really, to be fair to everyone, and that's where there's no licensing that you need to buy upfront. Everything you build, it's yours. You have NFT. You build a game, you have proof of ownership on your NFT, and you can even sell your game. Basically everything is free, and there's no need for some special licenses or stuff like that. So you just go build, and that's it.
And Superman's Nightmare asks again, how can I add some tasks or quests?
Of course, by using pixel blocks. So the same procedure, because you would, in a game, when you add tasks, quests, whatever, you would write a code. In our case, you select the pixel block that you need, maybe a quest pixel block, maybe a fighting pixel block, whatever, pointing pixel block. You take that, you put it on, and it's the same process. You don't need to code. You just drag and drop it on your object, player, or maybe NPC, or whatever you need to do the quest with, and just set the settings for it.
And you mentioned earlier that for someone who's building with Cosmic Engine, by creating pixel blocks, they can earn. Can you
Of
talk
course.
a little bit about that tokenomics?
Absolutely. So basically, let me go back. I just wanted to share something, but I can share it later. Let me just quickly go back here. And So we have a couple of things here, and let me just be a bit lazy and just take the player because we have no two pixel blocks on the player. So there's two ways to create pixel blocks, and I will then come to the way how you can create assets as well and earn money with that. Because it's not only that we need only developers, we want assets as well. So we need also 3D artists, 2D artists, game artists, basically. So the way you can create a pixel block here is, as you can see, I have my player, and it has, because if I remove those pixel blocks, it will be just a simple object. So he won't be able to move, he won't be able to do anything. He can do all of those things because we have the pixel blocks on. And let's say I want to save it. So what I can do is go, just a second. Sorry, because I'm streaming on the other screen, but looking in our, so maybe I misclick sometimes. I can go and save it as a prefab. So if I save the player as a prefab, that means that I can create already a prefab, which is technically a pixel block, or a game template. If we created a whole game, we can in the same way create a game template. And we'll treat prefabs and pixel blocks the same on the Cosmos Store. So once you create a prefab, you can actually go to the Cosmos Store and you can offer this for sale. So you don't need to be a developer. You can combine the pixel blocks that you already have. You can make a full game of it and create a game template or maybe some cool features for a player. Because, for example, my player at the moment, he can walk, jump, but I didn't add anything else. You can add shooting mechanics, you can add, sword fighting mechanics, whatever you want to it. Health bar, obviously, or maybe something else, depending. Maybe you want to make him invincible. It's up to you. But maybe you make a really cool template for a player. And this is the way a non-developer could also create a pixel block and offer it for sale. The other part is the one that I showed before. So you go to the coding console, basically, and you write your pixel block. Once it's done, once it's written, you will have the option to publish it on the Cosmos Store. And then on the Cosmos Store, you can set your price, what you think is okay to charge for that pixel block or that game asset that you created. We are not, like I said, you have the option to offer it for free. You have the option to ask for money. You have the option to make unlimited amount because maybe you just want the pixel block to be available to everyone. You have the option to make a limited amount of pixel blocks, which means you just say, okay, there's only 1,000 of those. Those are so good. I want to promote them in a special way. I want only 1,000 of those. And the good part is that all the pixel blocks are NFTs. That means that, let's say Tracy created a fantastic Moga pixel block, and she wants to create only 10 pieces. So the first people, go to it, buy it immediately. It's out of store. We don't have it anymore. The original owner, the creator at Tracy, don't want to do any and none others. But you still want one. You missed the opportunity. You still want one. You can go to the open markets, whatever marketplace you want. It's pretty much, at that point it's free. It's out of our ecosystem. You can use it. You can sell it on every marketplace that you want. You go, you find it there. You find someone who wants to sell it. You buy it, and then you own it, and you can come back to it, with it to the game and use it then for your game.
That's
And
really, really awesome, by the way. I just realized like the opportunity is not just you're not just creating an ecosystem for gamers to access new content all the time. And it's not just about people who are passionate about building games the first time. There's also a lot of opportunities for artists, for existing game developers, for animators, right? For anyone who can contribute to this. And every time I think I hear a project that talks about utilizing AI, um, a lot of the builders, right, people who are, I would say, traditionally builders, seems to get scared or feel somehow this negative sentiment because they are worried about their expertise becoming irrelevant or rendered useless almost. But this is absolutely not the case, right? In this ecosystem that you're trying to create, you're actually combining um, the skill set as well as the AI capabilities to process language and then to help people navigate coding, which is not accessible as a knowledge until now.
absolutely. I mean, this is what we internally talk with our artists, because our artists, they're not that AI friendly, let's call it like that. But obviously, look, we need to be realistic. So AI, I don't see it as a way to replace people. I see it as a way to speed up your process. When you're writing something, you can get it, quickly to check your spelling and so on. I mean, I'm German native, I'm not English native. So obviously I will have spelling mistakes and so on. So it helps me. For example, I might lose, half an hour checking everything, and so AI can help me with that. Simple things, something that I use in my daily life. But even for the artists, we finally got them to a point where we tell them. I mean, obviously, the final product is still, the original one done by us. But when we brainstorming ideas, it's so good to get, inspiration and ideas with this because um, I know I can be controversial and so on, but it's a tool to help you. It's a tool, it's not a tool that you can use in the final form, at least right now, but it's a tool that helps you. And this is how we structured the AI in Cosmic Factions. It's working hand in hand with you. If you're using the Dreamweaver AI, you're telling it to do something, you're adjusting manually, you're telling it again. It's not this uh, insane magical solution that will solve all your issues, but it's a tool to help you maybe develop again 10 times faster. And of course, the AI can only work with the pixel blocks that we have. So the more pixel blocks we have, the better it will work for the people who, in the final stage, will put those pixel blocks together. So obviously, the developers are still a key part. They will come up with amazing ideas. They'll do them. They can earn, their part as well. So it's a really ecosystem for developers, for non-developers who want to build game, for gamers. And the AI is there just to help everyone out. So it's not to replace someone. That's definitely not.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So is it time to
Yeah, I just promised to show
review?
something because
Yeah.
I talked about the developers, but I left out artists.
Yes.
And there is something amazing
Awesome.
that it's been in the works. So this wasn't even in our white paper, and credits goes to our main Godot developer, to Ivan. This was his initiative. He said, we have an all-inclusive ecosystem. Why not have a 3D tool actually as well? So what you're looking at right now is actually, I call it a trimmed down version of Blender. So it's a 3D software in the Cosmic Engine. We call it Mesh Generator, where it's trimmed down. It's still being in development. So this is what you're looking at right now. It's basically the very first version of it. And I just lost track of my mouse. So what you're doing, what you can do here actually is we just added some subtraction features, I think it's called. We just added some initial actually features to it. So what you can do here is let's add a cube. Let me go up with it. Oh, and I think actually I made a mistake, but doesn't matter. Um, so it's basically I mentioned, I need to apologize. I need to play a bit more around with it. But for people that are familiar with 3D software and so on, they will probably can tell already what I will be doing right here. So let's go and yeah, I should have probably I wasn't prepared to show this right now, so I didn't really train too much on it. But we can subtract things. So basically, instead of using some complex tools and stuff like that, you can go and basically create objects that will be subtracting the shapes from others. You can obviously do way more things with it. I will just try to show some simple things that I figured out how they're working. So right now, you're still seeing a silhouette. What we can do if we're happy with what we did, we just go and temp bake it. Yeah, that's how it's called. It disappears, and basically the object that we did is I selected two at once. Doesn't matter. Oh, I baked them all together. Yeah, sorry. Like I said, I'm actually I didn't have time to play around with this too much, so I just made a mistake. I by mistake mixed them together. But basically, what you're seeing right here, so we just reduced the part of it, and there are multiple things so you can use this. And I again apologize. I just wanted to show that there is something for the artist as well. So you get loop cuts. You can actually create by drawing 3D objects and so on, texture changes and everything. Once you're done, I had here a couple of tests. Oh, yeah, I just prolonged the the loop. I had here a couple of tests. Basically in the end, when you're done, you can save it and you create your own asset. And probably I should have just played a video to show how our artists are working with it, so you have a better idea. I give my best, guys. I'm honest, I really didn't have time
But
to play around with this.
it's great that you as a non-developer, right,
Yeah,
can go around and explore all these different features and show everyone how that works because it gives all of us an bit of a reference point, right? If we're not at all familiar with coding, what are the possibilities? I think you did manage to show me this block much better the other day, right?
Could be, could be.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think you were trying to create like a blog and a column, and it was working super smoothly, and I was just so blown away. Yeah.
this is updated version, by the way. So from the one that you saw a couple of days ago. So yeah, I mean, this is just, this is just the first version. So the idea here is that since you have the coding console in, since you have everything in, why not have also, it's not replacing a Blender, so if you're really a professional artist and so on, you can still do your assets in Blender and just port them in to Cosmic Factions. But if you're a beginner and just want some simple, easy tools, we'll make it even simpler so you can actually grasp it immediately. Then you don't have to go to learn Blender. You can just, use everything. Basically, let's call it in-house or in engine. So yeah, we're just
So
trying to cover all the aspects.
one audience said, "We'll make lots of money with creating a teddy bear building." So I think people are very inspired by your earlier comments about how we're in a teddy bear market. That actually made me think of a question. So we talked about the different pixel blocks and how different contributors can create them, and then builders can utilize them to create their game in the Cosmic Engine. So if I'm someone who wants to build a game, but I don't know how to code, and actually I'm not an artist, I'm not technical at all, and I have, for example, this vision to create a teddy bear building. Is there a way to go about doing that right now, or must I actually expect some contributors to create those components for me to utilize first?
So the first thing that you can do, oh, sorry, wrong window. Yeah, and I'm clicking actually my mouse in my is on my other screen, and I'm looking at the stream right now. So this is why I get confused sometimes. But yeah, so what you're doing is you just go to the Cosmos store and find what you need. So we don't have it right now, but let's say this is an asset pack, which means with multiple assets, and those can be modular assets. So you have asset pieces that you can then put together and create something. You would need to have obviously a teddy bear something that you can do. That's the one possibility. If there's none, you can go actually and use this tool that you already saw I'm really experienced with. But you could then also create one teddy bear here. So you can create it. This is stone. This is just a placeholder. You can obviously change the materials. You can make small circles to add eyes and so on. And I won't try my luck again. I already showed my talent the first time. But yes, you would be able to create a teddy bear here. And actually, I will ask our dev team to create a teddy bear video, how you create a teddy bear here and share it actually when we have it with you.
Nice. That'd be amazing. I think that'll be the first things that
For
a
sure.
lot of the audience will try to do once they gain access to the platform.
Yeah, or maybe I will learn it over the weekend properly, so I will build a teddy bear for you.
So the same user, Kulomani, is asking, can I create objects using AI, and whether there's a minimum system requirement that you would recommend for running the engine?
Um, we are still testing, so the engine for now is pretty light, but in the end, it comes to how heavy your game is. If you're building a game with a high poly game, because you can build low poly, high poly 2D, so there's no restrictions in that regard. But it's like with every other engine. So if you're building a high poly game, really high quality with a lot of assets in there, you will need to optimize it. So you can have, basically like stage loaders, and you have settings where you can add. Um, it's again called loaders actually, where you don't see the far away items and they get rendered as you go there. You need to optimize it, but still, if one scene, let's call it one scene, one piece that the camera sees at this point is too heavy, it will obviously basically you will obviously need a strong enough PC to run that. So you could run the engine, start it up, start playing around with it on. We didn't test how low you can go, but pretty low. It's not, it's easier to run than Unity or Unreal. So it's a lightware what you're building. But in the end, as we, the same way as with other engines, the heavier you build the game, the heavier, it will take your PC into.
Yeah,
Um, yeah.
awesome.
So sadly, we cannot do any magic there. And the other thing that you asked is about if the AI can create meshes. Basically, you can ask the AI to create. So no,
Yeah.
the AI is not creating. So this is important to know because we're not creating AI mesh generator. It's a game
Mm,
creator. So, like I said, this way I like to call it game assistant because it's building your game. So it puts the game logic together, it puts the assets together, but it's not taking a mesh, shaping it, and making up a new mesh. It can combine meshes to create a new one because with modular meshes, that's why you have them to combine them and create, a whole new object. It can do that, but it's only using the meshes that are already implemented in your building set. So basically, the pixel blocks that you downloaded, the assets that you downloaded, it has access to those. It makes use of those and creates something with that. So you will be able to see a completely new mesh in sense of a modular created one that you wouldn't have as that at that point as a pixel block. But that's just important to know the difference. That's not a fully unique mesh. That's again your modular assets that were put together and created into a single mesh. We might, I don't want to promise, so that um, okay, I cannot really disclose this because it's not something that we're working on. It's something that the Godot team actually is working on right now. So I cannot really disclose this, but there is something they're working on, and they are happy to share it with us to test it out. So it goes in this direction. Sorry, I mean, I cannot tell too much because it's not on our side being worked on. It's on the side of our main partner. So this is why I cannot tell too much. But if it goes well, maybe we'll have something more for you. Again, in relation to AI, but yeah, that's. I think I already said too much.
okay, but we will save this for another live stream when it is allowed
Yeah,
to share some good news with the audience. Somebody actually asked whether, so Vanessa asked if the technology allows for integration with multiplayer features. So
yes.
whether the games could be multiplayer. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we don't have the multiplayer module in right now, but obviously, that's one of the next features that we're adding anyway. It doesn't really make sense to not have nowadays a multiplayer.
Yeah. Very cool. And actually this is yeah, I mean all the things you're describing as well as this multiplayer readiness is another reason, right, why we're really excited about the opportunity to actually collaborate and leverage the engine as well as the gaming hub that you guys are going to be creating. So should we now come to that point to finally lift the lid a little bit for our audience, what we've been working on in the background.
Absolutely. And sorry for taking so much time. This wasn't planned at all. But let's go. So what you saw right here, you can create your nanoverse. That's how we call it the games. A nanoverse is just a game. But as you can see here, we have a Mogaland demo. So let's open it up. And let me just navigate. Let me just find my way in. I think it's here. I need to look on the other screen. And yeah, I got it. So what you're seeing right now, we're now in the editor. So we opened up our Mogaland build. And you know how
Oh,
Tracy's mentioned that there are a couple of other islands and so on, and maybe other platforms. So this is one of them. And this is why I said, the thing that you saw with Mogaland, what Tracy showed you was the beta version. This is why I call this alpha version because it's, obviously we start a bit later on this and it's still in the beginning phase. But just to give you an example, we started. So you can see already we adapted it a bit to our style that because we didn't really do too much low poly art right now. So this is why you see a bit of mix of mid and low poly at the moment. But obviously, it's just the first version. Um, then this will become one of the islands where you can do cool stuff actually with Mogaland combined with Cosmic Factions.
exactly. And this is where, I mean, we, even the team, we're all super excited because, as we talked about, why should Mogaland end in the Mogaland that we are crafting for you, right? Like actually, we want to build partnerships. We want to leverage all the amazing tools and ecosystem out there to keep adding onto the experiences. So through a lot of the collaborations between Vladan and our team and his team, we talked about, okay, Mogaland is anyways an archipelago, which means having many different islands, outposts, locations. So why don't we create a special environment as an extension to the main Mogaland, where actually a user basically transports to the environment built with Cosmic Engine, and then you can actually have a complete different experience. First of all, play on a different channel, so it's no longer just on mobile, which means we can explore experiences, game mechanics, different gameplay, additional storyline, right, in a PC environment. So when you're on the go, you can access Mogaland on your mobile, but when you're sitting down in front of your PC, if you want to have an even more immersive experience, you can hop into the environment. And I guess we will be able to find this in the Wordle Game Hub, right? So
Absolutely.
someone can hop in, hop into the Mortal Game Hub, created by Cosmic as well, to access this. And yeah,
And
and I
exciting
mean,
part,
mm,
one
go
exciting
for it.
part about it, you'll be able to earn cosmics and Moga tokens.
Exactly. So it's not just more ways to play, right? You would not only do you play on mobile, can you not play on Virtual Game Hub, which is a PC game environment? There's also more ways to earn because every one of your achievements now in this environment adds on to your player profile and your achievements as a Mogalander. But you will now also have the opportunity to earn cosmics, right? And we just learned from Vladan earlier as well that within the cosmic faction environment, you don't just earn by playing, right? If you play a lot and you're very passionate about games, or if you're an artist, you can also create pixel blocks to earn as well, right? So there's
Absolutely.
even more opportunities.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe some cool ideas about the Mogaland game will also emerge. Maybe some cool Moga pixels that will be end up in the main Mogaland game as well.
Yeah, and one of our audience just got very excited. Um, Superman's nightmare, just I think he finally it clicked in his head or her head. Says free to learn, free to earn, free to create, and free to play. Right.
That's it.
So yeah, exactly. That I mean, if somebody's not excited by this, I really would question what's so wrong in your life. Come on, you gotta be excited by this, right? Um, yeah, and then we also actually we're not just excited about, all the new features coming for the users. A very important aspect about joining any kind of ecosystem is also the socialized aspect, right? We recently did Community Clash 2.0 together, where we created a lot of engagement for both communities. And I'm aware that you guys also have plans about Vortal Social Hub.
Mhm.
Is that something you can also say a little bit about how would that add on to the experience for the community?
Of course. So as Tracy said, and I think I mentioned it before as well. So Vortal, which is basically the place where you can go and try all the games out that were built with the Cosmic Engine. Vortal is not only the game launcher, so it will be structured. I mean, we can call it like a metaverse. We tend to not call it like that because it's just a 3D representation, of from where you can go and jump to all the different games. But the main part why we have it like that is that we want also to function as a social hub. So that means that you can go there, you can meet up with other players, you can basically start the game together, try out different games. You can go to a Mogaland, for example, social hub, and where you can start learning about different things and so on. So that's a cool thing. But one other thing that's coming, and this is coming before Vortal and before the social hub, and we didn't announce this, so this is the first
Yeah,
time we're announcing this, and this is the big
drum
one. Big
roll. Yeah.
drum roll. We are launching before Vortal, the PC version goes live, Telegram mini app version. So that means we didn't set on a name. We'll announce the name in the near future. But let's call it a Telegram mini game Vortal. That means that really soon. I don't want to promise too much because it's in development right now. It's so yeah, but really soon, and I mean it. You will be able to basically go to Cosmic Mini app. You launch it up. You will be able to play all the different games that are there. our partners like Mogaland and others will already be able to build games and launch them on the same platform. So that means you have one mini game for all the games. Sorry, one Telegram mini app for all the games. Let's call it like that. But the exciting part about that is that obviously Mogaland is an awesome partner, and I'm really happy that Mogaland is officially the first project to build a game on the Cosmic Engine. uh, Background is that we just actually released this version that you're seeing right now, and also Mogaland is a really great
We already
partner.
got our hands on it.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that. And also, of course, we have other partners that will do a lot of things with us. Some will build games, but some will make use of the social, how we call it, tasks that we'll have on our Telegram. So that means that on Telegram, when you go play games, you probably already everyone is familiar with the hamster clicking games and so on. We obviously not building a clicker game, although I'm sure that there will be a clicker game. Obviously, everyone likes those, but
We
it
we
won't be the
just
only one.
we just have to do a clicker game just for kicks, right? Because
Yeah,
you need to feed that. Like you need to feed that addiction.
of course. Yeah, of course. I mean, there will be one. So we promise. Okay, we'll make also one of the games that will be available will also be a clicker game. I promise. But anyway, besides that, you will be as well. This way, I took that as an example because with those games, it's not about the game that much. It's about how you can interact, how you can get your points up, level up, and though finally get an airdrop. What we want to do is actually we'll have a similar structure, just without the clicker, but with multiple games, also with the clicker included. But what we'll be able is to, with us, with Cosmic Factions, with Mogaland, with our other partners that will be part of this, you'll be able to go to basically interact with other community members with different tasks. You know the drill already, how it goes with those clicker games, and you won't be able to earn only one token, but you'll be able to earn a whole bag of different tokens from different projects, actually, our partners and everyone who's taking part in it. So I think this is really cool. This opens even more possibilities. It's basically creating a deeper partnership with everyone where it's mutually beneficial for us as projects, obviously, and it's beneficial for the community because just by interacting with Mogaland, with Cosmic Factions, with any of the other projects, you'll already be helping us out. Of course, we're always happy to have a good community on board, and you'll be also rewarded in more than one ways, because obviously one bag of multiple tokens, at least in my opinion, is better than a bag of a single token.
Yeah, exactly. And well, first of all, if I get very, if I turn my financial literacy head on, that's actually a diversification, right? Of a natural diversification of your efforts. So talk about it's like we're creating a gaming token ETF.
Of course. Yeah, I mean
This is
that
no
makes sense.
financial advice, everyone, but
Absolutely.
it's yeah, but it's very exciting because I mean all of us spend way too much time in Telegram, that I know. And it's really awesome to see the new mini apps coming. There's all these different wallet integrations. There are more and more gaming apps. And of course, at the start, all of us, I believe, have one time or another got slightly, unfortunately, addicted to the Note coin as well as the, what is it, the hamster.
I think Hamster Combat.
Combat, exactly. I actually play it, and I try to really wipe it from my brains, and I go back to it, right? Because there's something instantly gratifying, right, about such a simple action. So, yeah, I mean, I we are also looking at Telegram. We are very, very interested in how to tap into that ecosystem and actually get more people involved in doing something meaningful, right, in Telegram. So how to go beyond the current um, tab like mini games, but do more. So when we heard from Vladan that they're exploring this possibility and actually creating a whole, would you call that like a game launcher then?
We can call it like a game launcher for now. We'll come up with the official name before it's launched, I
Yeah.
promise.
So yeah, just to think like, you're gonna find this entire environment there where we talked about the Vortal Game Hub, but now you can access the same uh, in your Telegram channel, right? And for those of you who are familiar, of course, with the Tom blockchain and all the development there, all of this is going to get added up one way or another, right, to create even more opportunity, even more hype for our users, which is honestly just great. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm just trying to see if there are some new questions coming in. I think some of our audiences are really excited as well. I see some really random shout out posts, which is awesome. And Matthias is also with us in the background, really cheering us on. Um, but Superman's Nightmare, he's very excited. Can I earn if I build for Mogaland in Cosmic Factions?
Absolutely.
Ooh, that'd be amazing.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I
Everyone
mean, we
who's
are
building is
exactly.
welcome.
And see, that's really a great idea. So if you are, correct me if I'm wrong. So if you are, let's say, a passionate gamer of one of the games in Cosmic, for example, Mogaland, and you have a lot of ideas, and for example, you have some thoughts about how guardians should evolve or create a new breed. Um, could you, as a artists, for example, create pixel blocks that is related to a game that already exists.
Yes, you can. So there's one thing, because you as game owner, obviously, even in Cosmic Factions, we don't own the games, but Mogaland owns, their game. How and every builder owns his game. You would need to give them access only. So in sense of give that pixel block access to your game. As soon as you do that, of course, it's important and you can use it.
Amazing. So that's actually, I mean, that just really blew my mind further away because just think about all the people who love the games that will be in Cosmic, and then all the gamers could also become contributors, right? So actually the speed of development is not just becoming super fast because we have this awesome engine with the AI tools, but it's also leveraging the power of the community beyond how we use it today.
Absolutely. And if you remember in the last AMA we had together, or in the last space, you mentioned that it would be a cool idea to do hackathons and things. So you asked if we'll do that.
Yes.
So we do think about even teamed hackathons. So for example, let's say Mogaland hackathon. So Cosmic Factions is launching a Mogaland hackathon. That means that everyone who's in the Mogaland ecosystem, playing it, be it on your mobile platform, be it on one of the Cosmic Factions platform, they can take part. They can build pixel blocks precisely for Mogaland. And in the end, you as a team, you'll select the best ones that will get integrated in your game. So that's something that we also want to do in the future as well.
Oh, that's awesome. And actually just so I please invite me to this non-developer hackathon as well if you ever have one. I
Oh,
would
for
really
sure,
like to
for
try
sure.
it out. I always feel really left out when because I mean we work in the software space, and I always feel a little bit left out when there's a hackathon and all the developers are going. I'm like, yeah, but I can't code. Um, and then actually, one of our audiences just posted that you could perhaps you can even set up a DAO and actually use this builders environment, right? So together with your gamers and your builders, have a DAO to vote on what new features to implement, and then actually it is your gamers as well as all the builders supporting the project to realize that vision, right? So that it becomes such a harmonized cycle, right? Of basically build what you want to play, but you can play and build at the same time. Wow, that'd
Yep,
be super fun.
absolutely. And there is an update to be made about that. So I can say yes for now. I can't give you too much details. Because this is one of the major updates that we'll have coming. We didn't start working on it until implementation, so this is why I wouldn't want to say too much, because maybe there will be some changes on the way. Obviously, we're also evolving, but there is something related exactly to that coming as well. It will take a bit longer though until that's implemented.
Nice. Aha. So you guys have already thought about that. Very
Yep.
cool. Very cool. Um, any? Major, so any other information you think the audience should be aware of, like what to look out for? Why should they follow your socials? What are some activities going on there? Any alphas you can drop?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I dropped already pretty
Way
much
too many.
everything right now because I mean, I dropped even things I didn't plan to drop.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm pretty much at the end with my with what I could drop, with what I can say, obviously, because there's a couple of things where partners are involved, and I can't talk too much about that. But what I can say is that I'm really looking forward to Mogaland financial education in Telegram, actually, on cost infections. So I mean, you don't just have to do. Let's take hamster combat as an example. You're basically there playing a role of a CEO. But here with Mogaland, actually, I really hope to see some tasks that are not just playing that, but you're really learning actually something and uh, information that you'll be
Yeah.
able to use.
Yeah, I would love that, right? Instead of just chatting, of course, we get a lot of business done in Telegram as well, but instead of just chatting, like you're actually playing a game where you can like read some meaningful information, learn about finance, learn about crypto, learn about the market, and learn about other projects and opportunities. We talked a lot about that actually in the last two financial and crypto literacy spaces we have been doing, showcasing other learn to earn opportunities, showcasing projects. For example, there are builders who started out as a meme coin trader and then discovering Ton and learning about how to actually utilize that ecosystem to create business opportunities for himself and his friends. And that's, yeah, and it's stuff like that that we wish we can empower more, right, by sharing information. I think a tool and a platform such like Cosmic Engine will become a part of that journey for a lot of people, right? How to go from maybe a token investor or holder or user, or maybe someone who's just even stumbled upon meme coin by accident, but one day becoming a serial creator in the space. I'm just going to take over the screen share real quick. I did
Hmm.
try to
Then,
summarize a little bit. I mean, it's kind of sad I'm taking over from this awesome exploratory view in your engine to go back to my old school PowerPoint. But just for the benefits of the audience, Toga, I think you need to put me on. Yay, thank you. So, yeah, so just to summarize a little bit, in case if you joined a little bit later and you missed everything we've been talking about, is that we've been working on in the background together with the Cosmic Faction teams to make it possible for our players to find a Mogaland special off-post location and new gameplays built with Cosmic Engine. Because as you can see from what Vladan was showing earlier, the entire experience is very different. Having Cosmic support PC gaming, so it actually gives us opportunities to go beyond the hyper casual and casual mini games we have at the moment. um, there is going to be more ways to play, which is awesome because not only could you play on the mobile app, you can also access Mogaland in the future via the Vortal Game Hub, which is a PC-based gaming, as well as in Telegram, because um, Vladan just revealed this big secret nobody knows yet. So you guys are the first to hear that they're already working on making it possible for any game that is built in Cosmic Engine to deploy into Telegram as well. So we're really looking forward to that. But of course, for those of you who are here, you're of course very interested to find out what ways does this enable you to earn. And this is the most amazing thing in my opinion, because as you're aware, with Mogaland, you play to learn and increase your financial knowledge and your crypto literacy, and you will learn to earn Moga tokens, and you would actually learn to unlock mintability for the NFTs you'll be creating. But now, with the integration and the collaboration with Cosmic, you will be able to play and earn Cosmics as well. And it's not just about playing, it's also about giving you opportunities to create pixel blocks for games you love, for games you imagine to exist, and you can build to earn as well. And there will be more ways to socialize beyond the current Telegram, Discord channels, which I'm sure everyone here enjoys very much. But we will even do like more together in the future Warthog Social Hub. A lot of ideas. Vladan is probably scratching his head now, like, oh my God, please, the team. He's revealed a little bit too much. At least this is what I feel like sometimes when I get carried away in live streams and I'm like worried that I'm gonna go offline and the team's gonna be screaming at me and be like, hey, that's not coming yet. But there's gonna be, yeah, a lot of new stuff coming. And I also think this is really just imagine this ecosystem is not just going to be game devs or gamers, right? And in a lot of the ecosystem you see just one or another, right? Developers or users, but this is a place where actually everyone can chip in easily. So the game developers and gamers can connect as well, or go uh, either direction, right? Become one or another.
And
And yeah.
just quickly to add on what you just said. So yeah, you have game developers, artists, players, non-developers building games, learning. But uh, as you saw, I wasn't really, didn't manage to really properly use the 3D mesh creator. So imagine on top of all of this, you then have Mogaland, that will teach you how to do that, so you don't actually make the same mistake as I did right now and wasn't able to use it properly. So I think that's just a perfect combination.
Yeah, and that would be actually that's such a great idea because we talked about doing more in the educational sense, and I think that's definitely somewhere we can start with is first by maybe having a mini game, a quiz game that is about how to build, how to utilize the cosmic platform, cosmic engine, sorry, and then that could be one of the mini games that we put into Telegram first for our joint showcase, so that people learn about the journey of Mogaland, about playing to learn, but they also um, can pick up some skills on the side and start experimenting with Cosmic.
I think that's an amazing idea. And
We should
I
do
think the
that.
devs will kill me because we already have a tight timeline, but that's amazing. That's an amazing idea.
If you have documentation, I'm sure, and now Toga will kill me. I was gonna say if you have documentation, I'm sure Toga can turn that into a quiz game in no time.
I mean,
Because we
I
have the structure already, we just need the content.
I think I sent you already over the documentation for the Cosmic Engine.
Awesome.
So
You
Tolga,
did actually, you did. So we have no excuse. We need to get on that. Toga is like, I'm not coming on to speak to you guys.
okay, yes.
You know how much I love creating quiz games. Don't test me.
I'm not sure if that's like a yeah, well actually I'm gonna test you because that means it's gonna show up in the game in a week, right? Because actually
Well,
one of our listeners is asking. So one of our listeners has an amazing idea. He says, actually I'm not sure if it's a he or she. So forgive me. So Buildo Forever says, I want to build a multiplayer Mocha coin flipping game with cosmic factions for Ton. I just don't know exactly how to start with it. That is a very, very amazing idea and it's very ambitious. Um, do you
We
have
will
any
make it
tips?
possible. We'll make it possible for you. So you need to wait because this is the first version of the Cosmic Engine that we released, and it's accessible to partners. But the next version that we'll release will be accessible to the public as well. That version will come after we launch the Telegram launcher already. So that means that as soon as you have access to the Cosmic Engine, Telegram is already there, so you can immediately start launching your games on Telegram. So um, it's not
Very
that far
nice.
off. So I don't want to give it timelines right now, just for the devs to not kill me. But it's coming pretty soon.
Awesome.
You'll
So
see how soon the Telegram app will come, so you can then, kind of make the calculation of how
yeah.
fast the other version will come.
So we gotta get on that quiz game ahead of time so that we can answer exactly this question. How can someone build a multiplayer Moga coin flipping game with Cosmic Faction for Ton? literally gonna copy and paste this and save it because that's a great idea.
I think we need to add idea section in the Telegram app for people who are just to brainstorm ideas and you know just to have them there in one place.
Yeah. And then actually then we can do some voting and see what people love the most. So then we can prioritize that for the community and we can reward people who give the best idea. Awesome. So I literally had to save that. This is one of the coolest thing I've heard in a while. I would play that. I don't know how a multiplayer coin flipping game would work, but I would try it.
I assume two players, one against each other. I mean, maybe there's a different idea. That's we'll see that.
How do how do coin flipping game work for two people? What are you
I mean,
supposed to do? Like it's like getting heads or tail? Is that
I
coin
think so.
flipping game?
So basically,
Yeah,
first,
I think it's more like probably like a countdown, and after before you reach the countdown, you probably choose one of the options, maybe.
oh, makes sense. So you can even have multiple players then, and everyone will choose. And in the end, you have one portion of them wins and the other portion loses.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
We
I
can
think
grow
Tolga
this
will be
idea.
our game concept creator.
Yeah, I mean, this will be quite a challenge to solve, but this will be an interesting thing for Telegram, sure. For our audiences here, thank you so much for being with us today, listening, commenting, sharing really fun and cool ideas. Um, if you have any questions for us, please make sure to put it into the comment. Actually, I'm not even sure. Is this like a common thing in YouTube or is this on Telegram? Toga, do you know?
Sorry, what's that?
I'm trying to encourage our listeners, our viewers. We have hundreds of
Yeah,
them here with us. If
live
they
chat.
have questions, do they put it on the chat in
Yes, there
Telegram?
are two options. So,
Mm.
um, like platform-wise, there are two options: either live chat on YouTube or live chat on X. And on X, um, commenting on the post doesn't work. You have to enter the video. Then underneath, you will see the live chat option. Then you can ask questions from there.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, and I just realized it wasn't in the comment section. That's why I don't see the comments.
Yeah. Now you see it. You're
Now I see.
wondering like what are these guys talking about? They sound crazy.
I was only reading the ones that popping up here on the screen. I was wondering where we're seeing the rest of them.
Yeah. You must have like, man, Toga and Tracy have wild imaginations. Where are they seeing all this stuff? So I think we're Toga, or do we have we covered everything? I feel like we've revealed yet again a lot of information. We're almost coming to the end of the time. Just wondering if anybody has any. Oh, somebody said want to see a Tracy avatar in a Moga side scroller game. Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting idea. Okay, we can do that. We can do that.
I mean, it's kind of triggering me to give to to drop something else, but that's just as an idea base right now. It's not in the works, so I probably keep something for our next Twitter space together.
Very good.
It has
So,
nothing to do with a Tracy avatar, by the way, but it has something to do with how you can easily create a Tracy avatar.
uh-huh. What about a side scroller? So I guess is side
That's
scroller
actually
the same as a platform game, or am I
I think it's
mixing up game
automatically
mechanics?
running. It's automatically running, I think, on a side scroller.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in a platform, you move. You have to move actually to press the control. By the way, we
Yeah,
already have side scroller templates implemented, so that's already
perfect.
possible now. We just need your avatar, Tracy.
Yeah, perfect. I'm actually, and we've partnered with a project Bacana Go. They make the most amazing dance NFTs. They are the same team who made this Batman dance party. That was
Hmm
a really, really huge video on YouTube. They've got, I think, like 2, 3 million views or something. So they're the ones that created these dancing animated characters, and they now do a lot of cultural themed projects. They're one of the sponsors in Community Clash 2.0, and um, could reach out to those guys because I think they could make me a really awesome dancing avatar, which will work
Absolutely.
perfectly for a side scroller.
So,
I'll just be dancing alone.
I mean, we could do in something else because the game template is ready for a side scroller. So we could even do a live stream and having you implement yourself into the game, build the game, and launch it.
What? No way.
Yeah, I mean, there we go.
Okay.
Coding, building games without code.
Awesome. That's amazing. Matthias is excited to see that. We need to do one with him as well. He needs to join me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do an initial game jam. Just give it a try to see how it will be. Just the three of us.
exactly. Exactly. We can have like a, dance and hop side scroller game with the avatar of all of us.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome. So, yeah, on that note, Matthias says no way. Yeah, you're in. Um, so yeah, on that note, I think we're reaching the end of our stream. Oh, now you're a boomer. You're not. I know you're not. Whenever convenient. Um, I think reaching the end of our stream today. Vladan, thanks so much for joining us. I really enjoy it every time you jump into our channel because there's always something really inspiring to see from Cosmic. So yeah, thanks again, and actually more to come. This is definitely not the end of our collaboration, guys. This is just the beginning. As you can see, we are taking steps forward. Both teams are working really, really hard on creating new content. So also be patient. Keep an eye out on all our social channels. Ask us questions. Give us feedback. Engage with us. Feel free to share your thoughts. Jump into the conversations. Let us know what you think. We love your ideas, and we're really looking forward to actually putting these new playable components in your hands. And yeah, keep an eye out for our next steps.
absolutely. Tracy, thank you a lot for having me. Tolga as well. Uh, Always awesome to come by, actually, and I love it to do Spacey with you. This is why I think it's already the second time I'm dropping some unannounced news in our
Yeah,
spaces.
yeah.
But definitely,
Actually, now actually this our live streams will become known for hopping into to get some alphas about Cosmic because Vladan is always accidentally oversharing. So if you want to get in early on the exclusive news, you gotta come here.
the
Yeah,
best place.
next week on Moga Paparazzi sessions.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's literally, educating people about crypto. Alphas are also part of that. So it kind of fits perfectly, with the whole Mogaland concept.
Yeah, it kind of goes a little bit against our financial and crypto literacy education channel, where we
This is,
really talk about how
well,
to be
Tracy,
responsible and serious. But hey, we need to have some fun as well.
I mean, look, aping in is also part of crypto, crypto literacy. So this is literally, like crypto financial 101.
Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. Thank you both so much. Toga, you always do an amazing job with preparations, with helping us navigate the complexity of tools. And we've been, yeah, really lucky. I think we're doing better now. Twitter algorithm and whatever um, hands of control is behind these spaces and streams like us better now. So we managed to survive our entire duration without any disruptions. So thanks to everyone who's tuned in. Um, just one last minute, if you like, share, retweet, make a comment, do as much as possible, you will put yourself into the bucket of eligibility for a special prize. And we've got lots of fun stuff also planned for the winners of these live stream participations. So if you haven't done so already, grab your last 20 seconds of opportunity before we tune off for the day. I'm getting slow now. I have to go. It's been
Yeah,
a long day of streams.
yeah, I still have one in the evening actually. So
Oh, what is that something with your community, or are you hopping on with another channel?
no, it's Twitter Space actually, also one of our partners, T3.
Nice.
They have this every Thursday at 10 p.m. our time, which is Central European time. So, I mean, I'm not in every single one of them, but quite often actually, and it's more a casual one. So,
Cool.
multiple projects are connected, and it's just more casual talk.
Awesome. And if someone wants to tune into that, could they find the link from your Twitter space? Sorry, on
Absolutely.
your Twitter.
So just check our
Cool.
Twitter out. Link is there. Happy to see
Cool.
you in the evening, Tracy. If you want, maybe you can also hop on one of those when you have some time.
Yeah, I would love to actually. Thanks so much. I would absolutely love to do that. Tonight, 10 p.m., unfortunately not. I've made some plans. Try to have a life, but I would definitely like to
That's hard.
sometimes. Yeah, I know. That was a joke for those of
Yeah, I
you who
know. I
didn't
just
get it. Yeah. All right. Vladan, thanks very much. Lovely to
Mr.
see
Kolga.
you as well as all the progress. And we're signing off. Thanks, everyone. See you at the next space live stream and everywhere.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
follow us for stay tuned about those spaces and streams. As always, we experiment, discuss, and share the most recent news and bring the brightest minds of Web3 together. So, yeah, don't forget to follow us, like, share, and spread the word out there. Thank you again. Take care.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.